Okay. Hello. All right. All right. Hello. Hold on for a second. Yes. Hey. Hello. Yeah, we're on. Anyone here? Oh. Hello. That was not good. Anyone? Hello. Chime in. Chat. Okay, there are 8 viewers on, but there's nothing in the chat. Hey, X Baker, how are you? You know the drill. You know the drill by now. Mic check. Hey, ZR Jumbo. Hey, Flocka. Mic check. Audio check. Video check. Are we good? Mic check. Audio check. Video check. We good? Okay, sounds good. All right, all good. All right, we are back. Hello, everyone. It's been a 1 week hiatus. Yes, it's been a 1 week hiatus. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. For those of you who do not know by now, I'm Ming Chow, Associate Teaching Professor at Tufts University. This is my introduction to security course offered at Tufts. Today, the oldest trick in the book. Today, the oldest trick in the book to get data that you shouldn't have access to, and that also include bypassing access to systems that you shouldn't have access to. So, here's the thing. I started learning about cybersecurity in the 2000s. 2004 was when I first got introduced to cybersecurity. And at that time, in 2004, the number one and number two vulnerabilities that I learned, and at that time, it was still the top, like they were the top two vulnerabilities: cross-site scripting and SQL injection. Here we are in the year 2023, and cross-site scripting and SQL injection are still at the very top, if not number one and two. Certainly number one and two in terms of web security vulnerabilities. So you have to ask yourself, have we made any progress? I mean, why is this such a problem now as it was in 2002? Hey, Coolio. Coolie Jojo. Hi. Okay. So, SQL injection is still dubbed the oldest trick in the book. And I'm going to start off, we're going to do hands-on exercises, a couple of them today. But I want to give you a little bit of a primary. Yeah. Hey, Nabil, how are you? Nabil Hannon, you are at NetSpy still, right? What is your title? You managing director? Managing director of NetSpy. And Nabil and I go back, I don't know how long we've been. I don't know how long we've gone. And Nabil, you're hiring? Oh, you're now field CISO at NetSpy. So, Nabil, you know the drill, and you'll obviously get VIP treatment. Yeah, it's been a long time. It's been a long time since I got to know it. Yeah, send me. Yeah, is there a way? I don't know if there's a way that I can actually allow you to post. You can't post links. That's the problem. But yeah, if you're hiring interns, still, hey, let us know. And if you're hiring any full-timers, let us know. Okay, so you're hiring. Thank God. I mean, everyone is laying off right now. Dude, thank you so much for joining in today. So I'm actually going to take the honors, and I'm going to give you all a preliminary here on what this SQL injection thing is. Okay. So I have, let's say that we have a database table called users. We're going to have 3 fields. And I'm going to create a database table of users. Look, a database table of users is typically in countless databases. Bill Hannon. And I'm going to give you a fake pass, so I'm going to make up some password. CISO Nabil, yeah. Great to see you, man. Okay, I'm going to see, I'm going to also add, okay, don't worry, do not worry that the passwords are in plain text. That's not the issue that we're dealing with today. What else? ZR Jumbo. Yeah, ZR Jumbo. That's going to be ZR Jumbo's password. Yeah, I gotta give you, let's do one more just for the heck of it. Actually, we'll just do X Baker. There you go. All right, so I have, here is a database table of 4 users. 4 users. Okay? There are 4 users in this database. Okay? 3 fields, ID, username, password. Now, here's how a lot of authentication systems work. Okay? Let $username equals user input the username. Let $password equals user input for password. Okay? So a lot of authentication systems would actually have a what they call SQL query like this. Select ID from users. Actually, hold on, be careful. Users is going to be lowercase. Now, here's the thing. The structured query language is used to perform operations on databases, where username equals single quote, and inside single quote, the user input, the username, and password equals, inside single quotes, the user input, the password. Here we go. Okay, so we have a single database table called users here, all in lowercase. The database table users got four records. Let $username equals the user input for the username. Let $password equals the user input for the password. SQL, the structured query language, is used to perform operations in databases, creating databases, inserting data into database tables, updating databases on database, querying data, deleting data, updating data. This goes on. So if you want a nice tutorial or primer or a crash course in the structured query language, I strongly recommend SQLzoo.net. And SQLzoo.net, what it does, I've recommended this resource for years for people if you want to learn SQL. So let's go to select basics. And it's all hands-on exercises. So here we have a table called world. The world table has many different rows. Many rows with the following columns: name, continent, area, population, and GDP. So this is a database table of the world. different countries, continents, area. Okay. So introducing the world table of countries. This example uses a where clause to show the population of France. Notice that strings, pieces of data that are pieces of text that are data, should be in single quotes. And that's the significance of the single quotes. So strings in SQL, in a structured query language, are wrapped around single quotes. The select statement, this is what it calls select statement. A select statement is a query. Okay, so here's the general structure of how a select statement works. Okay, the general structure is select a list of fields. Hold on. Fields from table name. That the most rudimentary is select fields, a list of fields separated by a comma from the table name. If you don't know the field, you can just do what they call a select star. So it's just going to return all the fields. Okay. One little note, since I know someone's going to ask, do keywords in SQL need to be uppercase, like select, from, and where, and? The answer is no. But by convention, when you read Stack Overflow posts, examples, hands-on examples, literature, convention-wise, keywords, SQL keywords such as like select from, insert, values, they're going to be in uppercase. But when you actually type it out, it's case insensitive. So you can also do select star from users. Okay, so keywords can be either uppercase, lowercase, case insensitive. But convention-wise, when you read books, literature, do example, SQL commands are all generally in all uppercase. So here, so where it is that select population from world where name equals France. So if you submit the SQL query, well, it's wrong. So here it is. Show the where clause, which is to show the population of France. Okay. So modify it to show the population of Germany. Okay. So you can do select population from world where name equals Deutschland, Germany. Submit SQL. Correct answer. Yay. Okay. Checking. You can also do a SQL command, SQL statement to checking a list. The word in allows us to check if an item is in the list. This example shows the name and the population of countries: Brazil, Russia, India, and China. Okay. Show the names of the Show the name and the population for Sweden, Norway, and Denmark. Well, you can do this. Okay. So SQL Zoo is, if you're not familiar with the structured query language or how to query databases or how to work with databases, definitely recommend you to go to SQLzoo.net. All hands-on exercises. Okay? Yes, and that's, yes. I'll provide, Nabil, your email address to folks after this show is over. So let's go back to this example. All right, so let's do this hands out. Let's do this hands on. So we have a SQL statement, select ID from users where the username equals the user input for username and password equals password. So let's actually fill it. So what this is going to do is only going to return the ID, if the username and the password exist. So I'll give you an example. Let's do one out. So let $username equals Laka. Okay? And the password is AKA. Okay. Now, plug and chug. Yeah, avocado, let's not worry about the intersection between two tables today, like with joins and stuff. Let's not do that today. We actually don't need it. Did you ever apply a query where the output is oddly unexpected? Hold on, we'll do that today. Okay. let $ username equal flaka blaka, and so we just do plug and chug. So we replace $username with flaka blaka, and we replace $password with hey. So is this a legitimate SQL statement? And the answer is yes. There's no syntax errors here. So let's read it out. Select ID from users where username equals flaka blaka and the password equals hey. All right, so we have a users table. Do we have a record where the username is flaka blaka and the password is hey? Okay, we have a username here. Okay, flaka blaka, and the password is hey. Okay, we have a match here. Both statements are okay. So both pieces are true. Both pieces are true, and so what it's going to return is going to return 2. Okay. Oh, this is going to return 2, which is legitimate. Okay. So now let's do another example. So let's do username equal Batman, and the password is Bruce Wayne. Okay. Again, let's do a plug and chug. A plug and chug is replace $username with Batman and replace $password with Bruce Wayne. So this one, select ID from users where username equals Batman inside single quote Batman and password equals inside single quote Bruce Wayne. Well, do we have a username Batman? Nope, we have no username Batman, and we don't have a password. Is there a password Bruce Wayne anywhere? And the answer is no. So both cases are false, so it's like we're false and false, so this is going to return nothing. No results. That's going to return no results. Ha. Do people still use these on SQL? Nope. Unfortunately, no. Unfortunately, it's still being used today. It's sad. It's quite sad. SQL injection is still a thing up to this day. Okay? Still has not been, like, it's almost like one of these things like don't make me laugh that it's outdated, but it's bad. It's still a bad problem. That's how they break in, this is how they break into so many databases, even up to this is how they breach into many database systems still, even up to this day. I'll give you a good example, voter databases, as we'll see a little bit later. That's how they breach into voter databases day in and day out. Okay? But here's where the tricky problem comes into play. So let's do a username of Shaq. And let $u password equals O'Neill with an apostrophe after the O. Let's do a plug and chug where username equals Shaq and password, $password is O'Neill with an apostrophe after the O. Alright, so now the SQL statement in line number 13. Select ID from users where username equals Shaq and password equals O'Neill. Is that a legal SQL statement or not? Is that a legal SQL statement or not? And what's the problem? And here's the thing. This is not okay. And Zia Dumbo said, yeah, there you go. It's the mismatch of single quotes in password. Okay, there you go. Password equals O. This SQL statement is syntactically incorrect because you have a mismatch of single quotes in the password. This is always going to bring back a syntax error. Okay? And yeah, as ZR Jumbo said, the single quote will not only terminate the string early, but then the neo single quote becomes, yeah. Yeah, Jedi Chrome need to sanitize the password. Look at, Jedi Chrome, I'm not going to, I don't want to take jabs at people, but you're absolutely correct. And look, if everyone in the world sanitized every user input, if every developer sanitized user input, I think most of security problems, especially web security problems, would go away. But unfortunately, how many web developers do we know that actually go ahead and sanitize user input? I'm just saying. If they did, we wouldn't be having this problem year after year, day after day. Okay, so here's the problem. Now you notice there is a syntax error because there is an apostrophe or the single quote on the O. But what if we actually can take full advantage and take advantage of single quotes? What if we can exploit it to return data that we shouldn't have access to, or more data that we should not have access to? Okay, I don't have any decent. All right, and so here's mham. Let's do that. Okay, let's do the username is Shaq, and the password is exactly what you wrote. But hold on, it's O single quote space or space single quote one close single quote equal single quote one. No closing single quote. So let's do this. Let $ username equal Shaq. Let $ password, the user input for password, equals something exotic that M. Hamza said. Any letter that you want, whatever. Single quote space or space single quote one single quote equals single quote one. Let's do a plug and chug. Replace $ username with the user with Shaq. Let's plug and chug and replace $ password with what M. Hamza actually. You don't even need a forward slash at all. No forward slash at all. Yeah, we all know a lot of indecent developers. So here it is. Let's not add a forward slash. Let's take a look at the results now. Let's take a look at the SQL statement that is on line number 13. Select ID from users where username equals inside single quote Shaq and password equals single quote lowercase o single quote space or space single quote one single quote equals single quote one closing single quote. Is that a legal SQL statement? Not a legal SQL statement? I don't see anything wrong with it. Nothing wrong with that. It all makes sense. What if we did this? Now let's actually do the math out. Is there a username Shaq? No, there's no username. We only got 4 usernames. Nabil Hannon, Blacka, ZR underscore Jumbo, XBaker underscore. We only have those 4 usernames. And password equals 0. First of all, equals lowercase o. Do we have a password lowercase o? No, we have no lowercase o as a password anywhere. But what about 1 equals 1? What's 1 equals 1? Last time I checked, 1 equals 1 is, well, that's true. So what the SQL statement really becomes is select ID from users where false and false or true. But you evaluate from left to right. What's false and false? False and false is false or true. So now, okay, false and false becomes false. But then, what is anything more true? So now you have select ID from users where true. Now, is that a legal SQL statement? Select ID from users where true? And the answer is absolutely. So what this is actually going to return, 1, 2, 3, 4. Going to return all four numbers. And this, my friends, is a SQL injection problem. Can you come up with user input that actually will count towards the operation of the SQL statement? Okay? That is the SQL again. So the SQL injection problem is, can you actually create user input, namely unsanitized user input, that will count as code, that will count as operation towards in the SQL statement? And this is a SQL injection problem. Now, who was it that actually wrote? Okay, Sam Hamza. Do people still use these on SQL injection outdated? Well, here's the thing. Here's the list of the 2022 SQL CWE 2022 CWE top 25 most dangerous software weaknesses. We're gonna have a 2023 version very soon. And here's a CWE top 25. Look, number 1 is out of bound right. Number 2, CWE-79, improper neutralization of input during web page generation, aka cross-site scripting. And here it is, number 3, CWE-89, improper neutralization of special element used in a SQL command, also known as SQL injection, went up by 3 compared to the 2021 list. Take a look at CWE-89. Here it is, CWE-89. The product constructs all of or parts of a SQL command using externally influenced input from an upstream component, but it does not neutralize or incorrectly neutralize a special element that could modify the intended SQL command when it is sent to a downstream component. Yeah, is this the, or the other one is Bobby Tables? The other one is Bobby Tables Jedi Clone. Okay. Now, this is from the CWE list. CWE from the 2022 CWE top 25. SQL injection is number 3. How about the OWASP top 10? The OWASP top 10, and this is the latest list from 2021. Okay, what? A1 is broken access control. A2 is cryptographic failures, and let's take a look at A3, injection. Injection slide down to a third position. Here it is, 94% of applications that were tested for some form of injection with a max incident rate of 19%. An average incident, yada, yada, yada. Okay, notable CWEs include CWE-79, cross-site scripting, CWE-89, SQL injection, CWE-79, external control of file name or path. Okay? Here it is. User supply data is not valid. Here's the root cause. The root cause really is user supply data is not validated, filtered, or sanitized by the application. And this is what we've been doing is hostile data is used to use or directly use or concatenated. The SQL or command contain the structure and malicious data and dynamic query commands or stored procedures. Some of the more common injection, SQL injection, yada, yada, yada. Okay. How to prevent. Okay. So, a little brief history of SQL injection is one of my all-time favorite pieces. It is so sobering still. It's actually on Vice. This was written in 2015. 2015, a brief history of how ugly this problem is. Actually, it's now more than 15 years because we're almost going to be okay, over 15 years after it was first publicly disclosed, SQL injection is still the number 1 threat to websites. This was written in 2015, and hell, we still got people still talking about SQL injection up to this day. Okay? This is one of the hackers protecting a TalkTalk breach, which led to personal details of at least 150,000 people being stolen, a vulnerability discovered 2 years before he was born. That method of attack was SQL injection, where hackers typically enter malicious commands into forms on a website to make it churn out juicy bits of data. It has been used to steal the personal details of the World Health Organization employees, grab data from the Wall Street Journal, and hit sites of U.S. federal agencies. Of course, now it's also still right because almost every major system uses a big-ass database. The most common one, the biggest one these days I see of election databases we'll talk about. It's the most easiest way to hack. Worm, who was responsible for the Wall Street Journal hack, or the attack only took a few hours. Okay, so why in 2015 is SQLI, says QLI, SQL injection, still one of the biggest breaches around? SQL injection was probably discovered by Rainforest Puppy, also known as Jeff Forrestal. He's a CTO of Blue Box Security. Okay, but Forrestal found that typing in certain command would force a server to reveal information stored on it. People could possibly piggyback SQL commands. Here it is. Over 15 years after the first publicly disclosed SQLI repeatedly sits at #1 spot of vulnerabilities in the All Top 10 report, which is released every 3 years by OWASP, a nonprofit that monitors threats to websites and their face. Okay. SQL injection is always a #1 risk. Troy Hunt, who is the founder of Have I Been Owned? If you actually have ever gone to Have I Been Owned, this is what happens when your data gets breached. Have I been owned? Oh boy, Zen, I wanna. Okay. Hey, Nabil, are you still here? In your opinion, why do you think these issues still persist? Engineer not. Oh boy, you gotta get me started on this, Zen. Okay, Zen, this conversation actually will go for eternity. Look, the tools are out there. No, the tools are out there. I don't. That's not the problem. I will bet. I'm putting all my money and all my chips on. The reason, and I see this day in and day out, is that the engineers just are not knowledgeable enough. They're just not knowledgeable enough. I said this a couple nights ago. I said this last night. Is I train a lot of senior web developers like that have been in the business for 15 years, and they've never heard of SQL injection or cross-site scripting ever before. No, it's definitely not a tools and method problem. The defense mechanisms are there. Uh, it's definitely the education piece. Furthermore, how many computer science students actually take a security course? Far few in between, even in the year 2023. No, I'm not kidding. Nabil, are you here? If Nabil is here, I think he would have a vicious rant as well. I mean, I would appreciate Nabil or any professional if they chime in, like, why are we still facing this problem day in and day out? Anyway, Have I Been Owned was created by my friend Troy Hunt. And he made this tool called Have I Been Owned really simple if your email or your phone is in a data breach. How many data breaches have there been? Too many to list. How many of these data breaches were probably the root cause were SQL injection? Probably most of them, a significant amount. So how you check Have I Been Owned is very simple. All you have to type in is your email address, click. Also, your data will not be stored because there's no point in, for storing your data because there it is. That's my LinkedIn verifications. I've been scraped. Now let's, yeah. Yep, that email address is on, and here it is. Scraped, Apollo. I have no idea what these systems are. So it's a public service announcement. Have I been owned? No. I mean, it's just a. I would strongly doubt it. I mean, look, I think it would be super ironic because Troy is he is very well known in the cybersecurity community, and he does this stuff for a living. It would be extremely like a triple egg in the face if he actually had a SQL injection. Hey, Oblivion, how are ya? Been a while. M. Hanser, what advanced topics should you recommend one to learn? I would go down into systems. Definitely learn something like deep into in system levels. Oh, let me come back to that one because if you want advanced topics, what are you interested in? I mean, are you interested in hardware, software? I mean, it's an open-ended question. Okay, I want to come back. Here's the thing. There is a tool called SQL Map as well too. All right, here it is. When you go to a web page and you make a request that parses the data that actually requests back to the server, for example, you read a news article and the news article the ID has one, and then you get another one. But with SQL injection, an attacker changes that ID and the address bar to something that forces the database to do something it's not meant to do, such as returning a piece of private data. There's also an automated tool called SQL Map too. If you don't want, like, that will really speed up SQL injection. SQLmap.org. It's one of my favorite tools. It's also written in Python. SQL Map is an open source pen testing tool to automate the process of detecting and exploiting SQL injection flaws and taking over of database servers. SQL Map is free and open source. It's written in Python too. It works really well and, more importantly, really fast as well too. So the actual GitHub, and here's a demo. You're going to play the demo. So it's Python tool. While that's running, yeah. M. Hams, can I recommend offensive security? Have you tried the OSCP training yet? Yeah. And here's SQL Map, free on open source. Yeah. I'll come back because I don't want to drift off onto a different topic, but I'll come back to that question much near the end. SQL Map is an open source penetration testing tool that automate the process. Okay, so if you're going to do this, and time is an essence, definitely recommend SQL Map. But yeah, before we get into SQL, before you start banging away at SQL Map, well, let's do some rudimentary SQL injection exercises out first. And for that, this is where we're going to play with the damn vulnerable web application. Okay, the damn vulnerable web application is a web application that is damn vulnerable. And it's a playground for you to play with. So, that being said, I have an instance of the damn vulnerable web application up and running. Okay, so here it is. That's the link. Hold on. The username is admin. Password. Type in admin. Password. So here it is. This is a running instance of the damn vulnerable web application. It's a playground. Okay? It's a playground. It's a training ground. Has some of the most critical, most common web vulnerabilities with levels of difficulty. The one we're going to do is SQL injection. Okay, SQL injection. So the SQL injection exercise. And what you want to do is, get a list of all the users back. 1, all right, that looks good. 2, all right, that sounds good. Is there anyone at 50? Nope. 99? Nope. All right, so give me back a list of all the users. I'll give you a hint. You can do a view source. Ah, Bobby tables. Look at that. There's even a link to Bobby tables. All right. Here is a source code. I'll give you a huge hint. That's a SQL statement that is used. Well, your good job is bring back all the data that's stored in the database. Let's go. SQL injection. Bring back all the data on the screen. I'll give you a few seconds. Anyone? Got to bring back all the data. Show everything. Give me a user ID that can bring back all the data that's stored in the database. No, not that. No, way too complicated. No. Give me a user ID. So, okay, let's try that one. Select star from star. Let's do that. And no, that's not going to bring back anything. Okay, here's a hint. All right, so let's say M. Hamza said single quote space or space 1 equals 1 single quote. Will that work? X or true. All right, here, try this one. Well, X or true. Now, you got to be very careful, Astolfi. Note the quotation. Ooh, we got a problem here. You have an error in your SQL syntax. Check the manual that corresponds to your MariaDB. Ooh, so first of all, here's a big hint. This is a reason why showing error messages on a web page like these, like system errors on a page, is extremely bad because it's almost a dead giveaway that there's a SQL injection vulnerability. Okay, so exclude that last quote. Okay, or true. Let's try that. Are you ready? That's not working either. Now we have a single quote problem here, but let's say M. Hamza. Let's try M. Hamza's ones. Single quote, space, or, space, 1 equals 1, single quote. Let's try that. Still a problem. Wait a minute. Let's do this out. Are we doing this right? Yeah, definitely go to bobby-tables.com. I want to take a copy of this SQL statement without the $ quote. You don't need to be a SQL ninja at all. Okay, everything underlined. So this is what we're working with. Okay, why don't we do this? We'll do a copy of that, of M. Hamza's one. So replace $ID as the user input. So, yeah, that looks weird. Okay. Right? No, you don't even need that. Why don't you do this? Why don't we do this? Let $ID equals 1, or fucking whatever, like F, single quote, or space, single quote 1, single quote equals single quote 1, no single quote. Try that. So replace $ID. What will that? Alright, that looks good. Try that out. So let's do whatever, like F, single quote, space, or space, single quote 1, single quote equals single quote 1, no closing single quote, hit enter, bang. There you go. So you got all the records in the database back. Admin, Gordon Brown, Hack Me, Pablo Picasso, and Bob Smith. Yeah. Not that kind. You don't even need to do a subquery. If you do a subquery, I mean, that's like, well, that's like level 4 SQL injection. That's something that SQL Map can actually help you with. But yeah, the user ID, I mean, really is always generally like a good form is, you know, whatever, close single quote, space, or space, single quote, 1, single quote, equal, single quote, 1. Submit. That will work. Okay? So that will throw off the code, view source here, to return a lot more data than you than you want. Okay. So now, do we need a SQL? Do we need a SQL injection for admin? Well, no. Okay. So now, let's do this. Why not we do another exercise? Actually, before I get to that next exercise, here is lab number 7. The next lab, it's actually the same URL. Break into the website. Now don't spill any secrets out. Admin ain't gonna work. So this is your lab number 7. Bypass the authenticate. Break into the website. Bypass the authentication. Now there it is. That's your lab number 7. Break into the website. Is it related to everything that we've been talking about today? You bet. You bet. Oh yeah. Yeah, break into the website. There's a secret key here, but don't spill the secret because this is a graded lab. Okay? Alright, I want to come back to here, and I want to show a certain exercise here. I want to go to the XSS stored exercise. And there's a reason why. Because I wanted to give you a little motivation here. One of the issues with this exercise is there is a character limit on name. So if I do A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, it's only up to 10 characters. Name can only be up to 10 characters. The message can be long. So your question is, wait a minute, there is a character limit on the name field here for user inputs, only up to the first 10 letters, only up to 10 letters. If you do a view page source and you take a look at name, and you can see the max length is set to 10. Okay? Now, I want to log out of here. And I want to show you why this matters for our next exercise, the voter database. Same IP address, the voter database. This is a fake Find My Voter registration system. And like that cross-site scripting exercise on the damn vulnerable web application, there are constraints on fields as well. First name is John. Actually, a store fee. Birth date is March 2nd. And I would say that you're a 90s kid. I don't know. And 90s kid, and zip code is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, okay. So there's a bunch of constraints here. First of all, the date of birth month is a pull down. The date of birthday is a pull down. The date of birth year is a pull down. The zip code is up to 5 characters only. And there's a checkbox. So if I don't check the checkbox, you say, you get nothing. A store fee, March 2nd, 1990. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Check this box before you, because you can view your voter information, and I get no results. Okay. So I can tell you right now that there are tens of, if not thousands, of records here in this fake Find My Voter Registration Status system. So wait a minute. Of course I'm showing you this because of course there's a SQL injection problem here. There's a SQL injection problem somewhere here, like a lot of voter databases. In fact, I actually have this project as a GitHub project. So if you go to github.com/mchow01, that's my GitHub account, and you go to repositories and you go to vulnerable voter database, here you go. Here it is. This is the project. Everything is taken from this project. So this is a Docker container. This is a deliberately insecure voter database system. I built this. When the hell did I do? 3 years ago. Oh, damn, 3 years ago. 3 years ago is to demonstrate to developers, lawmakers, govies, politicians what happened if, a system is not developed well, like most other voter databases. You can run this using Docker. But what I do want to show you is if you think that SQL injection is not a thing, well, here's a bunch of references. SQL injection attack is tied to election commission breach, how the Russian penetrated Illinois election systems. There you go. This was written in 16, a little older. How the Russian penetrated election system, this is in 2020. SQL injection. Another one? Yeah, paywalled. Okay. Here it is, voter databases. All right. So if you want to play with this on your free time, like you download the Docker container, but we're going to do this out today. So your question is, okay, that exercise on damn vulnerable web application with cross-site scripting stored, there was a character limit to the name field. And here we face the same constraints. Zip code, there's a 5-character constraint. There's also checkboxes and stuff. So your question is there a way to actually bypass the client-side constraints on forms, such as hidden values, and also things like character limits on text fields? And the answer is yes, absolutely. So, briefly remind me, or remind everyone else, how does the web work? Remind me, remind everyone, how does the web work? Anyone? Yeah, Cyber Samurai. Good call. I like where you're going with this. Yeah, but that's Jackie. Okay. That's what the web is. But how does the web work? Well, there you go. Explorer 88 said it. Request response. How the web works is request response. Right now, if I fill out the form, when I do my magic one finger salute and click on submit query, it's going to make a request to 34.122.49.169, the voter database. Hey, give me the voter information for first name F, database, last name D, date of birth with the date of birth, February 2nd, 2000, and a zip code of F. It's going to make a request and the response is no results. The result, no response. So, what if I told you, what we want to do is, there are tools that can help intercept before sending your request out. What if we can intercept or have a tool or a server really that intercepts our request? You can change all your user input to whatever you want. and then that tool will actually send the request out. Therefore, you can go and type in a zip code that's longer than five characters long, or a text field, or any text field that's longer than the max length. And that's where tools such as that are called web proxies come into play. Think of a web proxy as a middleman. What it does, web proxy is, it will, before your request is sent, it will be intercepted by the proxy. The proxy, and then you can just make any changes that you want to the form fields, form values, and then you can just send those off to the server. Cyber Samurai 2121 put an icon on here. And that icon's a pretty famous icon. And that icon belongs to Portswigger. Portswigger is the creator, Portswigger.net, is the creator of arguably one of the most famous and used tool by web application security folks. And that tool is called Burp Suite. Burp Suite, there is a free and also a paid version of it. Most security professionals go with actually pay the subscription for the professional version because it's just so good, because it does even automated testing of web application. All you need to do is just type in a URL and it will just do automated scanning for you. What we're going to use is Burp Suite Community Edition. The best tool to do manual, what is it called? What did it say? The best manual tool to start web security testing. So we're going to go to Burp Suite Community Edition. So what Burp Suite Community Edition is, does it show you? It should show you. Here it is. It will have HTTP, HTTPS, WebSocket, proxy, and history. It has repeater, decoder, sequencer, and comparator. So what this is if you want to actually try to brute force your way through a username and password, you can actually feed in like wordless of username, wordless of password, and can just repeat the submission of each and every one of those username password for you. Okay, the professional version will have everything that is in the community edition, but it will also have an automated web vulnerability scanner as well too. Both versions will also have what they call a history feature, which is really nice to build an entire sitemap of a target website, which is really, really cool. So Burp Suite is also free and open source. It's not open source. It's platform independent. Okay, Burp Suite Community Edition is platform independent. You can install it on Windows, Mac OS, Linux. Under the hood, it uses Java. But now the newer version of Burp Suite actually has, which is nice because it not only has has Java built in, but also has a web browser built in. So no longer, like unfortunately back in the days, you had to configure either A, your system, or B, your web browser to actually go work with Burp Suite. They removed that pain in the ass. Okay? So what we're going to do now, okay, so download, if you haven't done so already, download Burp Suite Community Edition. What the fuck is the download? Oh, here it is. Go straight to downloads. Community Edition, and you pick the one that you want. I have ARM. I already have it installed. I use the ARM M1 version. So if you got a Burp Suite Community Edition, looks like that. Oh, there it is. Welcome to Burp Suite Community Edition. Use the option below to create a project. Let's do a temporary project. Hit next. Use the Burp default to start. And here's Burp. Cyber Samurai must be excited right now. Look at that. Here it is. Welcome to Burp Suite. So the professional version, as you can see, you can have a table. It can do automated SQL injection. Oh yeah. I mean, this what's the money? What we're going to need to use is called a proxy. We got a proxy tab here. Okay. I actually do want to make sure that the font size is big. User interface, displays, font size. Let's go to 16. Yeah, that's good. 16. And there you go. Here it is, proxy. The proxy tab. And you can see sub-tabs such as HTTP history, WebSocket history, and the intercept. We want to be an intercept. We want to make sure it's a proxy. Yeah, the project, it was the goal of Project 7 to get the key. Yep, yeah, that's the key. That's it. If you get the key, you're in. Congrats, you're done. Also, in lab number 7, if you're spending more than 15 minutes on it, you're doing something wrong, which is exactly what you didn't do, Jedi Chrome, it seems like, so good job. Intercept is off. We'll leave it off for now. But all you need to do to use Burp Suite and proxy is to open a browser, and it will open up a Chromium built in now. Really nice. So let's go to HTTPS or http://34.122.49.169/voterdb. There you go. Here's a fake Find My Voter registration. So I'm just going to do it out again. I'm just going to do a stall B March 2nd 2002 00 is a zip code and hit submit. So right now the proxy is just, it's going to intercept the result, but it's just, actually the intercept is off, so it's not going to intercept, sorry. So it's just going to do a straight request response. There you go, no results. Now, this is where the power of the proxy comes into play. Let's now change intercept to on. Toggle intercept. Now, once you toggle intercept, it said request sent by the Burp browser in Chromium will be held here so that you can analyze and modify them before forwarding them to the target server. That is what we want. Let's do this again. A stall E January 2nd, whatever. And the zip code is always. I don't even care. Check the box off, and now watch what happens when I do a submit. You notice something? A couple of things you should notice. Number one, you notice that my request is hanging. You notice that in the Chromium tab bar for fake Find My Voter registration, you can see the circling icon here. And notice what happens in Burp. The proxy intercepted the request. This hasn't been sent to the server yet at 34.122.49.169. And notice, remember, this is lines numbers 1 to 20. This is all the HTTP header. Request header. This is all the HTTP request header. This is the HTTP request body. So check this out. Look at request add. You can even break it down. Look on the inspector. You can say it has a request attribute, request query parameters, request body parameters. Oh yeah. Request cookies are none, and request headers. Yeah. All the web stuff. So now what you can do with Burp when you intercept something, you go modify any values. You can modify any value. You can modify anything in the HTTP request header. You can modify anything here. before you send it off to 34.122.49.169. So I can do date of month, birth month equals 13. Date of birthday is 32. Date of birth year is, and the zip code is, well, let's do something like much longer. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Yeah. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, or the full alphabet, which is a lot longer than 5 characters. And now, once I make my changes to any of the request headers, user import, query parameters, body parameters as we did, now you can see my Chromium is still hanging for the request. No result. So here's the thing. Using a tool like a web proxy, you can bypass client-side validation anytime. Really, client-side validation is not enough, and that's really the moral of the story. You can always bypass client-side validation with a web proxy tool. Let's do this again. Do I need to submit all the fields? No, I don't. Zip code equal, okay, so now let's do the SQL injection. Let's do a SQL injection on the zip code field using the same payload that we've been working with the whole time today. So let's do whatever, single quote space 4 space, single quote 1, single quote equals single quote 1. And let's hit a forward. So we're going to SQL inject this voter database, fake voter database, on the zip code field. Hit the forward. Boom. Countless records. That's at least, I think the last time I checked it was at least 10,000 records here. There you go. All fake data. Oh yeah, look at that. Yeah, we just dumped this fake voter database using SQL injection. Yeah. Look at that. All fake data. Oop. Yeah. There you go. Look at that. Not done. So it didn't find one record, it just returned, I think there's well over 10, there's 10,000 records here. Oh yeah. Let's go back here. I mean, if you can do this again if you want. If I hit a refresh button. Alright, we can also intercept the original HTTP page and remove the limitation from the, yep, we can do that. Oh yeah. Let's do this again. Oh shit, hold on. Wait. Let me drop the interception. We can just wait till it. Okay, fine. Okay, now it works. We can also include the intercept ATT and remove the limitation. Oh yeah, I mean that's exactly what we're doing. Hold on. Yeah. Alright, let's click this again. So now let's see if we can find Abraham Lincoln. Date of birth, month, April 4th. I don't remember. All I know is like 1800. And let's do this again. Yeah, you can bypass any of these constraints. A single quote space or space single quote 1 single quote equals single quote 1, no closing single quote. Hit the damn forward and there you go. Oh yeah, I mean you can remove the limitation from the input field, even that too. Back in the heydays, people would love to use web proxies because back in like the 2000s, there were companies and online stores that were hard coding prices of goods into hidden form fields. So there was this one shop in the United Kingdom, and you know, flat screen TVs were expensive as hell back in the days. That hard coded that hard coded the price of flat plasma TVs in a hidden form field, and people would just use proxies to change like the price of the TV in a hidden form field from like a couple $1,000s to like pennies on the dollar. I hope I still have that article in CS116, and that was like all using web proxies. What's the readings on here? There you go. Go to vulnerabilities. Damn. Yep, here it is. I don't have the TV here. Damn it. Hold on. Let me see if I can find the Google search on this. Plasma TV, web security, proxy. I gotta find it. It's a great art. I mean, it was great back in the heydays. Yeah, I don't need this anymore. Okay, I do need a browser. Oh, one more thing. I want to show that I had the HTTP history. You can see the HTTP history here. You can see the methods, the HTTP methods, the URL, status code, all that. And if you go to the dashboard, oh no, you go to target, you got a target tab, it even can build a sitemap for you. Can you use Burp Suite on like Facebook? Of course you can. Go to facebook.com, whoop, and you see my proxy gets intercepted. I'm going to stop the interception. Now look at what happens. And you got a target. Yeah, I can build Facebook. You can see all the folders and files and all that fun stuff under the hood of how a website works. Can you connect my phone to it? You bet you can, Flacka Blacka. Yeah, oh yes you can. Oh, absolutely you can. You can connect your phone to the burps. Oh yeah. Oh my God, the answer is absolutely you can. Absolutely. That gets pretty damn crazy because then you can intercept like all the creepy stuff that your phone is doing. Oh yeah, absolutely, Flacka Blacka. Absolutely. I mean, I did that for years. Does the community do anything more than Postman developer tool? Yeah, it can even do. Hold on, yeah. You can do like a repeater. Send a request repeater anywhere. You can modify and resend individual requests to test your server's response changes based on input. You have a sequencer. You have a logger. You have extensions as well too. Intruder is pretty damn cool. Okay. Yeah, you can like automate attacks by sending the same request many times. Per rate limiting. So yeah, the think oscillator. Yeah. So it's a lot more than Postman and the web browser dev tools. A lot more. Okay. So want to give a shout out to Portswigger again, because one of the things that I also want to bring to your attention is Portswigger provides not only Burp Suite Community Edition for free, they also have a commercial version, but they also have their Web Security Academy. So one of the things that I hope that a lot of people are learning from this class is there are a lot of opportunities out there, and especially in the cybersecurity community, there's so many free and really top quality, like hands-on learning material if you want to go deeper. And one of them is Portswigger's uh, Web Security Academy. It's free hands-on training. There are so many this is all free. You can do SQL injection exercises, cross-site scripting exercises, XXE, SQL injection. You take a look at SQL injection. Here it is. We can explain what kind of SQL injection there is. Examples. What is SQLi? Here it is. Exactly what we've been doing today. Okay, so it's real good learning material. But let's talk about defense for the time that we have left. Now, how do you prevent SQL injection? Really, it boils down to SQL injection is two things. Number one, sanitize input, sanitize input, sanitize input. Okay? Furthermore, if you're using SQL code, you never want to mix code and data. You see, what the problem is, a lot of people, what they do is they like to concatenate SQL commands and user input data. You want to separate those two out. All, if not all, major programming languages now have something called prepared statements. What prepared statements are, okay, it separates SQL code from data. So what it means is that any user input will never ever ever be treated as part of SQL statement, like what we've been doing here. Okay, so here's a very good example of remixing user input and code. We never want to do that. They're two different things. Okay, so we can mangle, in this example, we can mangle like $password to actually execute unwanted, to bring back unwanted result from from a SQL query. Most programming language has what is called prepared statements. So what a prepared statement, think of it as, it's like placeholders before. Okay, so here is a really good Stack Overflow post. Xanaxes, I'm a SANS Institute alum, but they're pretty expensive. So SANS Institute is one. Hold on, I want to answer your question. And who was it? He's still here? M. Hamza. Stay on for a little bit if you wouldn't mind in the end. So here it is. Here's how prepared statements work. How can prepared statement protect from SQL injection attacks? Okay, the idea is very simple. The query and the data are sent to the database server separately. That's all. The root of the SQL injection problem, here it is uh, the root of the SQL injection problem is mixing of the code and the data. And in fact, our SQL query is a legitimate program. So here's an example. Okay. Well, this code, here we go, spoiled under a $sign spoiled data. Here it is, $sign query will produce a malicious sequence here. It works because we are adding the data directly to the program body and it becomes part of the program. Okay. In the case of a prepared statement, how prepared statements work is you never alter the program, i.e. the SQL query. It remains intact. First, you are sending a program to the server first. So for example, the SQL query select star from users where ID equals, that's where the placeholder comes into play, question mark, where the data is substituted by some variable called a parameter or a placeholder. Note that the exact same query is sent to the server without any data in it. After that, and then we are sending the data with the second request, essentially separated from the query itself. Here it is. So it can't alter our program and do any harm. So if you type in username is Shaq and the O'Neill is your last name, so the O'Neill will be, okay, so we're really going to look for the username Shaq and the password is O'Neill as is. But it should never ever screw up the program, which is the SQL statement. Okay, so that is all we get. So we did quite a bit today. We did the basics of SQL. We did, well, the SQL injection problem, the damn vulnerable web application, um, how to bypass client-side input validation with web proxies, and Burp Sweep. Another shout out to to Portswigger for offering things like world-class training, such as the Web Security Academy, and we also just covered how to prevent SQL injection by way of input validation and, more importantly, specially used prepared statements. Now, the answer, now a little bonus time. Okay, so I'm an alum of what is called the SANS Institute, called SANS.org, and they offer world-class cybersecurity trainings. They're all boot camps. The Department of Defense and Industry send them to SANS all the time. However, it's not cheap. But, of course, you get what you pay for. So many courses. I'm an alum of hacker tool techniques and incident handling. I'll talk more about that later on in this course. Pricing and options. I mean, it's like $8,000 to $9,000 per course. 1 week, 9 to 5 in person. There's also an on-demand version, which is online only. Okay, just cloud security essential, Windows forensics, foundations. Is M. Hamza here still? M. Hamza. Okay. The OSCP. Offensive security. Here it is. Oh, no. Wrong site. Oh, it is the right site. Oh, they redesigned it. Damn. Oh, they redesigned it. Courses and certifications. There it is. Hey, do they have OCSP? Here it is. Is that the right site? They redesigned it. Oh, it's offensive. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, they just redesigned the site. It's like, how come it looks so different? Yeah, they rebranded a few. I didn't know that. Toxic. Hey, Tonic, how are ya? Didn't know they didn't know they rebranded. Holy crap. OSCP is Pen 200. Here it is. About the exam. 24 hours proctored. Oh boy. Prerequisites. Solid understanding of TCP/IP networking. Here's the course syllabus. Pretty deep. Oh wow. How much is it now? I don't even know. I have no idea. I'm not gonna look into it. Okay. Oh, here it is. $15.99. Not terrible. Hey, I'm good. Yeah, MLS season is good. I'm serious. I think I need to get onto that plan, that MLS plan. And dude, let me tell you about Tonic 70 here. This man gave me the nicest scarf I've ever received. Well, one of the nicest gear I've never received for the Portland Timbers. Haven't forgotten that ever. Yeah. Have never forgotten that. Thank you so much again. That kicked ass. I still got it. Woo! Okay. So SANS Institute, OCSP exam. It's a competitive SANS. They all are. OSCP is largely a certification. But if you want like a technical certification, like a lot of people say OSCP is the way to go. Yeah, there's also Security Plus as a certification that's a little cheaper. I have former students that have done that. Oh, Black Hat. The Black Hat Conference. Black Hat USA 2022. Did they have the 2023 trainings yet? Let me just change it for 23. Oh, yeah, 23. Here we go. Black Hat 23. August 5th to August 10th. The training schedule. Here it is. Take a look at the training schedule. This is, yeah, these are huge. Infrastructure, attack and defense, abusing and securing Azure services. Oh, yeah. It looks like registration is up. Yeah, registration's up. Shit. There's so much here. Yeah, pick your poison. Oh yeah, these are real popular courses. I mean, Black Hat trainings are they're really popular. Also, they're expensive, like couple day training. So many options. Depends what you want. Take a look. Well, other than that, folks, yeah, we're way over time. Yeah, thank you so much. Next week we'll talk about vulnerability scanning. Yeah, we'll talk about vulnerability scanning next week. Shouldn't be that long next Thursday. Other than that, thank you all. Thanks. Hey, thanks, Tonics, for showing up, and we have a lot of special guests today. Take care.